Today's episode is the one where we find out if Herman Watson is going to become a Grand Tour winner. A lot of riders chomping at his heels, and these next three stages could prove decisive. Not much to talk about as of yet. An early breakaway that's getting closed down on this move. Pace has been pretty high, so we may be saying goodbye to Pavlov as a actual GC contender. All of our main rivals here went into the relay super early, and I think that's going to benefit us a little bit as I'm only coming up now for the technical sector. And I probably could have moved to the front later still here, but Orbers decided to open up. Unclear why. Oh, this is an annoying leave by the peloton with the mountain to come, as it means now it's going to be a flat move more or less. And you may have also noticed that Pavlov's been forced to admit defeat here. He was out of energy, so he's going to lose a couple of turns here. Watson's barely going to hold on to the pack. The pack in this case being Group 1, which is now going to go across the line, and no, it's not going to be a podium after all because Orber's just going to sprint over. But that's good for us because it means Orber's going to have less attack points tomorrow maybe. Pavlov meanwhile drops the gruppetto and loses a turn and a half. And that confirms what I've suspected for most of this tour, that 2 recovery points isn't anywhere near enough to be consistent over a full tour. Business as usual on this stage so far, but very intriguing finish. We got this short climb they'll probably have to ride past, technical sector, and then a long winding run to the finish. And that's exactly what's happening here. Everyone in the relay tries to go that little bit further than the last guy, make this move really tough. I'm not sure we'll even be stopping at the foot of the next climb here because there's a group out front. But given that out of the main contenders, it's only Weber who made it into that move, I'm actually not going to push up there yet. Because all the riders I really want to mark are still in this group and they're not attacking just yet. But maybe I should have gone with that move after all, because this front trio is going to get to the line first. Everyone tripping over each other in the peloton. It's not a ton of time left on the table, but it is 0.24 of a second. Yeah, Weber is still a full turn back. He shouldn't be a huge threat here, especially since he's only got a +1 in mountain versus our +2. But here we go. Queen stage time, and it's going to be a relatively modest start because we have so much riding left to do. But that gentle start only lasted a couple of turns. We ended up with a move that's going to put Galliard in trouble already. Going to jump ahead to this bigger climb now. This upcoming climb is 88 nodes, by the way, and I could have potentially taken us to the foot of it. I chose not to try and spare Ward because he's already not looking so good. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. Postcom Oha here because this was a part of the stage where my microphone started playing up. The field slowed down at this climb for a bit, but that allowed 2 riders to get away and actually put out a decent lead at the summit, a full turn. We weren't going to have the benefit of the peloton to bring them back either, as they got dropped on this climb and a field of 20 got away into escape group number 2. The dangerous part was that it was one Lannon Sports Academy rider pulling another, but Serrano's going to run out of attack pretty quickly here, and this attack's going to run out of momentum. There was still a lot of stage left to run, and I had Pavlov alongside Watson in this second group, so I knew we could catch the Lannon duo. The pace required to complete the merge, though, was too much for a good chunk of riders. Further splits in the pack. Some of our rivals stopped here to try and save some energy, but that may backfire as we're going to latch on to the lead group now. And crucially, they did not. What happened there? Herman Weiss attacked all the way back from here, past all of us. That could be a problem if he gains more than a turn on us. Okay, nothing came of it this time. We are going to be able to get back across. We don't quite have 2 full moves with Watson, but everyone else is hurting too, and the finish line is just ahead. We don't actually go to the front on this final turn because Caruso is going to get a lot further up anyway, and I'd rather get a point of slipstream off of Weast if possible. Nah, it was too steep. We did not get any slipstream at all. But since that split happened right at the end of the stage, the time gaps are almost nothing. I thought these stragglers were going to finish outside time limit. Nope, Caruso just gets in almost 20 turns down on the leader. We still have just over half a turn on the stronger Caruso, and if anything, I think we can gain a little bit on this time trial. We have more attack points left, and it's come down to 4 riders, with Carl Gross not having the attack points and Auber completely falling off. None of our riders are quite strong enough to get past this technical sector, so I'm actually going to stop here on turn number 2 and then try to go max to the line from there. And that should mean that all 4 of our riders end up just here, and that is essentially where most of the pack is choosing to land. So that resulted in Watson being equal 7th on the road at the end of the 3rd turn, and I do not see Caruso. We should gain time as a result. There he is, 3.54, so yeah, we have gained a bit of a buffer. And I'm liking my chances of holding it from here because Caruso is the exact same build. There's nothing he can do that we can't. Interesting scenario here where if I was on the back foot, I would go here because that's going to be a net energy save of 3 over 2 turns, but I don't need to save energy with Watson at this point. And in fact, it's a good thing we didn't drop because the relay wants to continue with it. Galliard wouldn't be able to follow, and I did leave Ward and Pavlov back because they are struggling relatively. And from there, they just kept going, so Watson's going to be on his own on the finish, but it's hardly a finish that he needs help on. And in fact, he's in such good condition, having so many attack points left, he's even going to be able to latch onto this. Only obvious drawback is that it comes down to me to then take the next pull. So we're going to let the others contest the stage win. But we've been okay with sharing the spoils for a while, and that extra 0.26 of a turn gives us a full turn advantage into the closing 3 stages. Caruso slides to 1.02, and Moritz Weber might yet get him because he's got a lot left when everyone else is fading fast. Even Watson kind of felt the pain of that particular stage. You what, mate? Weber just took the breakaway. Obviously don't want that to get too far, and I don't think it's going to. This is a massive move from the relay already. And it doesn't, it gets caught. Not much more to comment on before the main difficulty of the day. A bit of a slow ride up to here, but no one wanted to blink first and start the attacks. And it's just resulted in another 50-50 split. The mountain not quite long enough to put everyone in trouble. Even those that made it into A1 won't lose that much time here. It didn't contain anyone relevant to us though. What is relevant to us is that Auber's made a 31 node move to finish it right here. And the annoying thing is I might have denied myself a chance at the stage win because had Galliard not followed this group, Watson could get over Weber. But it didn't matter because Bruce Phillips was going to outsprint a lot of us. Us being same time as the leaders was the more important thing, and Caruso got dropped, so Weber is now the primary chaser. These last couple of stages are sprints by comparison to what we've had earlier in the episode, but they still have some challenging climbs to go. I think most of the pack is getting over this one, however. Christopher Ward can. Pavlov was going to be able to without slipstream, and they're giving 2 points to everyone. There was 13 riders all up, including 3 of ours. So I'm going to have plenty of help to the line so that Watson doesn't have to put himself in any danger. Coming down the other side now, Caruso decided to extend the relay for some reason here. Ward's move was already pretty strong. But now for the sprint, I put Watson directly behind Auber. I was wondering if I should have been directly in front instead, but Auber answered that question by leaving the relay entirely, and I might not even bother extending the relay. I'm just going to do it like this. Ah, dang it, Auber still wins. But more importantly for us, that just leaves one more stage. A bit of a tricky one, but with full energy and attack, we should thrive here. Nothing particularly unusual happening on the stage so far. Everyone went to the front early on, but the field was always going to be too strong for things to get too hectic before this climb. And you see all these riders up in P0 or 1 because there's no next stage to save yourself for. We're just heading for a mass sprint here though. I had considered on that steep 14% launching a tandem attack, trying to team time trial to the line, but too risky when I'm defending yellow. Awkward finish here where the intermediate sprint broke up the relay right at the end. And almost everyone is out on their feet going into this finish. I reckon if I tuck myself in behind Herman Watson, we have a chance. Well, that is assuming that Riviere doesn't short move, leaving me too far up. I think we're going to get outdone here. Oh no, we actually held on to that because no one could sprint. Well, that's just a cherry on top, isn't it? Watson wins the final stage in a tour where he was content to let Alvarez have the stage honours as long as he gained the time. Our final margin of victory, 1.26 turns. Pavlov coming in 7th without really trying in the end. Probably could have gotten 6th if I tried a bit harder with him. But his role in the final week was always to make sure Watson won the tour, and that's something we managed to do quite convincingly in the end. Thomas Gaillard reached level 8 after that tour, so we got to figure out what he's going to become. I'm leaning towards Cobble Rouleur because we already have a Cobble Puncher in Pavlov. We don't have an out-and-out Rouleur. Rao might become one in addition to Sprinter when he reaches level 11, but that's a fair ways out. So I think even though it's not going to make him so good for the Murray Lake circuit, I would like to have someone who can crush the Steinweg. But all of that is theoretical because if Watson wins the Gasmea, this is going to be the last season I play. Not a particularly good scout. I'll just put Dorish on. We gave the Vista Het Vizio a miss this season since we already won it. William Wagner instead takes it, but he used his major peak, so that's one less problem at the Gasmea. Our race this month is the Murray Lake Circuit, and with a relatively shallow start list, we actually have 3 of our riders listed among the favourites. And that makes it difficult to figure out which rider I'm using as a helper. I've gone with Bruno, but realistically, any of my 4 riders could do something in this race. I would like for my number 1 in this race to be Gaillard because he is on a major fitness peak here, but really hinges on if he can make it up the climbs. This one at least he's okay with. And it was a very quiet run up to this last climb, though we have shelled half of the field just by the unrelenting pace. Our riders are still okay. And in fact, we could even push the pace and try and team attack to the line. There's not far to go. As tempting as it is to go for it, I think we get beat because Ruggero De Luca, sure, he's not that much faster on paper, but he'll have the benefit of the peloton. Yeah, I measured it out. Even without a downhill specialization, he would legit catch us because he would have had a move of 29 plus the 3 from the peloton bonus. He would have reached the same spot as Cedric Rouse because Cedric Rouse's maximum attack would have only left him with a plus 13. So it comes down to a 10-up sprint instead, and I think we got the numbers to just ice out everyone trying to line up behind us. Especially if Popovic leads it out for us, we can actually build up quite a bit of momentum. And wait, oh yeah, Gaillard comes over. Bruno can't quite make it, but that should be enough. Yes, it is. Gaillard and Rao make it a 1-2. We were so strong in that finish that I had the freedom to choose who won that race. I could have given it to Rao instead, but he's going to have his time to shine in the upcoming Great Plains Tour. Since the Great Plains is mostly flat stages with just a couple of GC battles along the way, I'm going to try and fit that entire tour into one episode. And in the meantime, I'll cut the episode here. So, for anyone who's still interested, see you next time on the Cyclist Tactics.